Okay guys, we're back in the garage for an update on the GT. Haven't really given you any content on this. It's a little bit of, what's going on or what was going on. Most of it's been Mach 1 related, so figured I'd give you guys an update on this. Still no engine or transmission. The pistons that I was working on the ring gap for in the Texid block, as you can see, sitting under a pile of stuff that I need to go through and see what I need to get rid of. But yeah, they're sitting under there. Engine is still on the engine stand. Like I said, the reason I bought the Mach 1 was that I found myself going a little bit overboard and trying to make this car a jack of all trades, and it was probably going to be a master of none. So picked the Mach 1 up so that I could take the Mach 1 drag racing and focus on making this a fun car to take my wife and daughter out in, and kind of enjoy nice days, put the top down, and yet still be a fun car and something that can keep up with newer vehicles. Since I got the Mach 1, I've kind of been thinking of ways that I could make this a little more comfortable and a little more friendly for my wife and daughter, and maybe even something that my wife would want to drive. I know my wife is not a big fan of driving a manual. She is concerned that she might break something, even though I tell her, hey, break it and just upgrade the parts. Doesn't matter to me. She doesn't want to break anything. So, like I said, I've been thinking about ways to, maybe even get this car to a place where she would want to drive it. Now, could do a 4R70 swap in the car. However, that trans would definitely have to get built. I don't think it would take the abuse of a built short block with a 2.3 TVS sitting behind it and close to 8,000 RPMs. I just don't think that would happen. So I was tossing around the idea of a 6R80 swap and using a US Quick 6 controller for the 6R80. However, people that have done a 6R80 swap without a Coyote engine or Coyote PCM more specifically haven't really had the greatest of luck with getting everything to work the way they wanted to. So that just kind of brought me back to the drawing board. And yesterday I decided to do something that would kind of change the course and direction of the convertible and get it to the point where hopefully my wife will want to drive it and enjoy driving the car and be able to drive it without any issue. So I took my little mechanic and gearhead in training, and we went and picked up this yesterday. 6R80 transmission. I believe this one is out of a Gen 2 F-150 two-wheel drive. It's only supposed to have 34,000 miles on it. Now, before this goes into the car, I will take it to a shop, have them go through it, address anything that they feel should be addressed. However, it's just at most a factory refresh on it. Nothing crazy, nothing elaborate. Just with what I'm going to do to it, factory refresh at most will be just fine. So, why the 6R80 when I just said that I wouldn't want to put one of those behind with one of the controllers that are out on the market, and I'm not using a Coyote PCM for a 2-valve. Well, in addition to picking up the 6R80, I picked up this, a Gen 1 Coyote long block out of an F-150. Mileage is unknown, and really with what I paid for the engine and transmission, it doesn't matter if the engine is, has a bent rod, has valve issues, whatever. It truly doesn't matter. Like, this thing could have 500,000 miles and be all sludged up, and it just wouldn't matter with the deal I got. So, what am I going to do? Been doing a lot of research because I did decide about a week ago, maybe a little more, that this is what I was going to do. I messaged the guy, let him know, hey, give me a little more information on it. Got the information he had, and decided, yes, let's go ahead and do the Coyote swap. However, it's just not going to go in there the way it sits. What I'm going to do is a Gen 3 intake manifold off of a Mustang, Gen 3 Mustang GT, a set of Gen 2 cams. They are supposed to be the most aggressive out of the OEM cams. Then with this short block, I am going to use the factory block, factory crank, and do a set of 18 and up Mustang GT rods and pistons. That with, of course, having to deck the block, deck the heads, that'll put the compression a little over 12 to 1. Factory, these Gen 1 F-150s are 10.5 to 1. The heads, I'm going to do a refresh on them, valve job, upgrade the springs so that it can turn a little more RPM with the intake and cams. And then just a set of long tube headers with an exhaust, full exhaust on the car. Gonna have Lund tune the car, Lund Racing, that is, tune the car. And a custom intake so that I can keep the battery in the front of the car rather than in the trunk. A lot of the Coyote swap guys, they put the battery in the trunk just because of not wanting to worry about doing all that wiring. I'm just going to figure out something with the intake so that I can point it towards the passenger side like it is in a 2-valve and 4-valve, and leave the battery where it's at. Now, as far as wiring harness and control pack, pretty much gonna go to Power by the Hour, hand them a credit card, and say, give me everything that I need. Be a factory Coyote computer. They take a factory wiring they make wiring harnesses. They get rid of everything you don't need, and just leave you with what you actually need to get the swap up and running, and controlling everything that you would need to and want to control in the car. Get rid of all the stuff that you don't need that's extra, the extra sensors and whatnot that's not going to be in your swapped car, that's in the Gen 1s, Gen 2s, Gen 3s. So that's where we're at with the car. Again, gonna Coyote swap it. Going to put a 6R80 behind it and see what this thing will do. Guys with pretty much factory cars, just a tune, Gen 3s are making 430, 440 horsepower at the wheels. Figure with the compression, the head work, cams, intake, tuning, and long tubes should be right around that 450, 460 territory. Should make for a fun car. Hopefully my wife will enjoy driving it. We'll still do a return style fuel system so I can do E85. Probably just keep it on a flex tune. That way, something my wife will never, if she's driving it, can't find E85, she can just put 93 in it. The car will, the sensors will do their thing, and she will not have to worry about it. Yeah, that's where we're at. So stay tuned to Coyote swap content for the GT. And I'll also make a video to let you know what I have that is going to stay and make its way onto the Mach 1, and what is going to be sold, to try to put some more money into these builds. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Hope you like it.